Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the People's Poll, the show each and every Monday where James and I discuss a topic of your choosing. How are you, James?
All right, mate. It's still Friday in my world, you?
It is still Friday in my world because we're pre-recording. Because being Friday morning, I'm waking up, I think in the Cotswolds, mate, is where I'm going. Peace and quiet, away from football and before the kids go back to school.
All right, great. The rest of us are at work.
Yeah, you are. Well, some people will be commuting or whatever you are doing. We have the People's Poll for you. We put the poll out on a Friday. What were the options? What one?
I can't remember. Yes, I can.
Bournemouth.
We weren't sure if we were going to do this or not. We wanted to pick something in terms of subject that we thought FA Cup weekend probably wouldn't influence. So I put out the idea of Bournemouth. What has gone wrong? You obviously covered that in having been to the West Ham Bournemouth game on Wednesday to give that a bit more detail.
Yeah, I don't know if I gave it the full justice that a Bournemouth fan might give, but you know, got a few opinions on them.
Wanted to discuss the idea of festive football and was there too much. I think we're probably all in agreement generally that actually in terms of the amount of injuries picked up in game week 21.
Yeah,
sort of hamstring injuries, knee injuries, and whatnot.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
one game
the
too
pressures
many.
on players. Yeah, it was just one game week too many. I wouldn't. For me, it's not the too much on TV. I can deal with that.
Yeah,
that's fine. But I think 3 game weeks rather than 4
makes more sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to put out the idea of 10 amazing stats from the last 4 game weeks. Most of them I dropped into the main podcast as you lot didn't vote for it. So we're going to discuss the transfer window and what Premier League clubs might need going forward in the next month or so. I think the first thing to say is I don't expect it to be a busy window.
I don't expect it to be a busy window either. I think, well, it rarely is in January now from a headline signing point of view. Generally, people are filling in blanks or giving themselves some additional cover. Today, for example, Jack Rodwell signed till the end of the season with Sheffield United. He's not exactly box office, but he's still young, you know. He's still only 28. And, you know, the headline that made me laugh was Premier League winner Jack Rodwell signs for Sheffield United. And he is, right? He's got a Premier League winners medal.
Yeah,
so
there's a few like that.
And he's only 28, so he'll do all right till the end of the season and give them some cover and maybe even break into the team a little bit. But it's not box office.
Think for FPL owners, let's say here, this is no threat to Lundstrom's shirt.
No, not at all. So let's have a look at the teams. Should we go A to W?
Yeah, can do.
I think that's a good way to look at it. We like to keep the show 30 minutes, and there's 20 teams. Some of these we'll
just zing
next
through. I think, yeah, some will get more coverage than others.
Gooners, Arsenal at the top of the tree.
I think first thing to say is, which I said on the main pod, there are doubts about Aubameyang and Xhaka. I think in terms of those positions, there wouldn't be a desperation to replace necessarily, even if Aubameyang went. They've bought Eddie Nketiah back on loan from Leeds.
They recalled him, did they?
Yeah.
Fair play.
You know, they've got wide players in like Nelson, Pepe, etc. I think the major flaw, obviously, in last summer was, yes, they bought David Luiz, but they needed more reinforcement in terms of particularly at centre-back. Tierney's out till March time. Kolasinac still covering an injury, but are they going to add at left-back when they have got 2 natural left-backs? Maitland-Niles has covered fairly well at right-back for Bellerin, who I think's pretty close. So it's just a case with Chambers, I reckon, 9 months injured, which is a shame.
Wow, he just broke back in.
Yeah, he was playing
okay.
well for Arsenal. Rob Holding's back fit as well, so that's the natural cover. But I think Arsenal do want another dominant centre-half for sure.
I don't think... Yeah, they need to buy a world-class, top-of-the-tree centre-half, not another bench-filling...
Jerome Boateng's the name that's been mentioned.
Really? And what's his price going to be?
I'm not sure
70,
what his contract status
80?
is at Bayern Munich, but a very experienced player. I mean, that's the calibre of player, if they're not going to be wanting to spend sort of in excess of 60 mil or so, that is probably the right sort of player that they should look for. He's decent on the ball, not great, relatively quick, he's powerful in the air. He's got a little bit of everything, Boateng. That's probably the sort of player, I'm not saying he's the right target, but it's the sort of target they should be looking for.
If Xhaka goes, I don't think that's a problem. Guendouzi and Torreira can comfortably cover that part of the pitch if need be. And now that Ozil's risen to the mantle of the most defensive player in the Arsenal team, making the most tackles, he can give cover at defensive midfield if need be as well.
Yep.
Bournemouth, AFC Bournemouth.
Well, the problem for Bournemouth is they're obviously in mass trouble, and yet it does feel going into this window it's probably more about holding on to what they've got. So
Yeah.
Callum Wilson notoriously gets linked with clubs, but it's more about Ryan Fraser's obviously out of contract in the summer, and also Nathan Ake. There is rumour of a release clause with Chelsea, who obviously sold him to Bournemouth, that they can buy him back for 40 million. Depending on who you listen to, that the deadline to rebuy for that value has either passed or it hasn't. Some seem to think it's passed, some seem to think it hasn't. My take on it is that with Chelsea with money to burn, having not spent in the summer, if it turns out that it needs to be more and that's who they want, they'll spend it.
Yeah.
I can only ever see with Ake maybe Man City, but I think he would come in as backup to Laporte, wouldn't he? Being left-sided.
Yeah.
Spurs
Yeah.
might want to look at that sort of. Are Spurs going to pay 40, 50 mil for Bournemouth centre half?
How old is Ake now?
Oh, he's still quite young, mate.
Yeah, so that's okay. Maybe because I mean, it was always a rumour, but they said 40 million Diop's price was what Mourinho was looking at. Maybe. You've got the money.
I think if Spurs let Vertonghen go now, I could see him being a target. I'm not convinced that we'd go and get. They're getting players back fit, Bournemouth. I think
That's the thing,
they've always been a club. The good players they've bought have been like where they've identified young players, like
Brooksy
Callum
and
Wilson
stuff.
was from Coventry, David Brooks from Sheffield United when they were in the Championship. That's the level that they're going to be competing for, really, unless they're going to get understudies from other clubs. I think the most important thing for Bournemouth is certainly hold on to Ake. They've missed him through this December really badly.
Yeah, we shall see. What do you think on Brighton? I don't see them investing a lot because they bought a few in the summer.
Difficult one to call. One of the things we didn't mention on the main podcast we should have is obviously that Dan Burns also picked up an injury for a significant period of time, and I guess Bernardo at 4.3 will get a run in the team there now. Where they strengthen, I'm not sure, because they obviously rotate their team so much anyway. You've got young players like Connolly coming through who are, Connolly's kind of usurped Glenn Murray, for example.
Yeah.
Potter's saying today he wants Glenn Murray to stay part of the squad, though. I guess the real one is get a permanent deal done for Aaron Moy. Because others will start looking.
If they haven't already. I'd love it if we put money up for
I don't know if there's something in place for that or not.
There may well be, but yeah, he is pivotal. If you take Aaron Moy out of that side, they'd be looking over their shoulder potentially in the next 6 months. But it's so tight at the bottom of the table. I don't see them making any big name signings.
No, I think you still got guys to integrate. Trossard's been in and out through injuries and stuff. It's going to get more time. You got Jahanbash, who I guess everybody thought was on the way out, scored in 2 consecutive league games. So squad-wise, they're okay. They can shift seamlessly between back 3, back 4. If they want to go back 3, be it Duffy instead of Byrne now with the injury and play Bernardo and Montoya as wing back. Solly March has had a long injury, who started the season as left wing back. It's another route into them potentially changing the system. So I don't see major work there at Brighton unless they identify someone young from lower leagues.
What's your thoughts around Burnley at the moment? Because they haven't had the most amount of injuries, a few here or there, but you can't say they've been decimated in the way that some clubs have. Where do they go and what do they go and buy?
Well, they're never a club that's going to go and spend a lot of money anyway.
I think that just the ownership and the structure is well run that will keep our head above water.
There's some who go regularly to Turf Moor who seem to think that's the answer is to go and spend money. When they have spent it on people like Vidra and that, it's not. I know they didn't pay Earths for him. It's not really worked out.
No.
And actually, if you look at the squad as it is at the moment, it's almost feels a little bit stale. Like, I'm struggling to think of who the last player they actually bought was, really. Danny Drinkwater's gone back to Chelsea.
Yeah.
That obviously didn't work out. So, look, they'll be benefited by people like Goodmanson returning from injury, but I think right back, they're weak. Bardsley and Lowton are not long-term solutions. Charlie Taylor may well be a left back. They've got cover at centre-half with Ben Gibson from Middlesbrough, hasn't had a look in. So I guess right back, potentially up front, it's a long time since Ashley Barnes scored. But then they've got Rodriguez, Wood, Barnes. Do you want to add to that? Midfield, does it need an overall? Cork and Westwood as a partnership's okay. I just feel
Dwight
like it
McNeil
needs a bit of freshness, Burnley.
Yeah, You say that about the Spurs squad is stale. That's got me thinking about how many players need to rotate each and every year from the team to keep that freshness. 1 or 2 every year. I mean, it's why Fergie lasted 26 years. He had the right ability to refresh it however many times.
But we're talking different levels here with Burnley. I mean, we're not in a position where we're saying the manager's in trouble or anything, are we?
No. Because they kept him when they went down last time and he brought them straight back up. If they go down again, other than a big job coming up and saying, do you want to come take this club or the other, he'd stay. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't.
I can't see anything job-wise that would come up for Sean Dyche between now and the end of the season. And actually, I think he'd feel that they're back in a bit of a mess at the moment and it's his responsibility to sort it out.
Of course, yeah.
I think so.
I mean, the West Ham job was probably the last one that we'll see in terms of sackings that it would be any kind of level of step up. There are others that Villa may happen or what have you, but I can't see him making those moves necessarily. No,
I don't think so.
Abramovich can get his checkbook out again.
Yeah, I think they're the interesting one to watch this month most of all because we expect something to happen, don't we? So,
well, they've been quiet for a while. I mean, yes, they could do with me. I think they could do with another striker. As much as it will just put Tammy Abraham's nose out of place. Giroud and Batshuayi as a backup to Tammy Abraham isn't exactly strength in depth, is it?
Well, Giroud has been mentioned potentially, if Aubameyang went, with a move back to Arsenal as an understudy to Lacazette.
Wouldn't be a bad shout.
Batshuayi, we think
Villa,
probably on loan to Villa, who we skipped off because I've obviously decided I'm so sure they're going down. I only wrote down 19 teams on my list.
I'm using your list.
Batshuayi obviously getting seriously linked with a loan to Villa. I guess Villa will be looking at a goalkeeper now, by the way, as well, with Heaton out for the season.
They can have Roberto.
Yeah, of course they can. Yeah, or if they beat you to Darren Randolph, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Chelsea. The one I've spoken about a few times on the main pod is like keep getting linked with wingers.
Yeah.
Which I think like with Hudson-Odoi, Willian, Pedro, you've got like multiple players and already. I don't feel like that's the priority, but they are. Pulisic, obviously, of course. They have been mentioned with Zaha, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I feel like if there's a weakness in those wingers at the moment, it's that they don't score enough goals. I think my criticisms of Zaha from that perspective are quite clear. Jadon Sancho has been mentioned a lot.
I mean, he's mentioned with all of the Premier League clubs.
120 mil is the number
United,
being touted.
City, everyone gets mentioned with Sancho just because he's British.
What do we think of that number, 120 million?
Too much.
Is it though?
He's 21,
Isn't
right?
it just
22.
what it is?
Yeah, I mean...
British as well.
It's not my money or your money. Let the club owners spend it.
Yeah.
He provides consistent attacking returns in the form of goals and assists, right? Constantly creating goals and assists. So will he be able to do it in the Premier League? It'll be good to see. It's inevitable. It's an inevitability he's coming back. Question just is about when and where he goes. He will be back in the Premier League, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we can only really see Chelsea or United, can't we?
I think City would take a punt on him.
That's where he came from, wasn't it? Would he go back?
If they sold Leroy Sané, then I think City would go in for him for sure. Play Sterling on the left, Sancho on the right.
I think Moussa Dembele, Leon forward, would want to go. Having obviously, it's quite well charted now that a bid was made on Friday for £34 million, which has been rejected by Leon. I think he'd want to go, wouldn't he? Even if it was to go as, and I presume it would be as understudy to Abraham to start with, at least.
What about Villa then? Because we skipped past them. Heaton out,
I think
out, Wesley out. Well, Wesley out, it causes a problem. McGinn's already out for a long period of time.
Yeah, I mean, injury stacking now, isn't it?
But who bought the most players in the summer?
You feel like they will spend again now, don't you?
They've spent over 100 million in the summer.
I feel like what they'd probably look for at the moment is experience. I mean, where do you if Villa want to go and get a goalkeeper for the rest of the season, where do you go? Yeah, but you have to go overseas, I think. You're not going to nick anyone from another Premier League club unless you're nicking a backup.
No, I mean the players that we were looking at when we were down and out from a goalkeeping point of view. Well, Randolph was one. You've also got Butland was getting mentioned quite a bit.
Ah, yeah, Jack Butland.
But then Stoke are going to want some decent money for him. It's not going to be a loan deal or a freebie.
Stoke have got to let him go, haven't they?
Yeah. They will have.
Sorry, Jamie, FPL partner, but yeah, I mean, Stoke aren't coming back anytime soon.
No.
I don't think.
But that was another one that was potentially mentioned there. And obviously Roberto's available as well. So, if you're listening, Dean Smith, I can act as Roberto's agent to make that move happen. Crystal Palace, always the merry-go-round.
It's going to be
merry-go-round around Wilfried Zaha.
It's going to be a Zaha month again, isn't it? I
don't think so.
I suspect he'll probably end up staying there to the end of the season.
Yeah, where's he going to go? His preferred move is Arsenal. We know that he's an Arsenal fan and wants to go there. If Aubameyang left, do you think Zaha to Arsenal is much more likely?
No, I just think you'd be blocking the path there of a kid like
Saka.
like Nelson.
Or Saka.
Saka's obviously been covering at left back, can play wide left. You know, Pepe's got to step up now. He played quite well against United, although he faded badly in the second half. But yeah, I think they're all right in that area. I think. So, I think for Palace...
Having said that, clubs don't always buy the players they need. They buy the players they want. They keep the fans happy. This is the problem with...
but I think what would keep Arsenal fans happy is if they go and buy a proper centre-half.
Oh, yeah.
And possibly another central midfielder to play with... If Torreira's going to continue to play like he played against United, then you're wanting a good... I guess, distributor, similar to Xhaka, actually, in terms of qualities, to play alongside him. Do you know Palace haven't paid any money for a defender since Hodgson took over?
Wow.
Haven't spent a penny.
Wow. What a stat.
Yeah. I think they need... Although Martin Kelly has obviously done well there, covering there, Hodgson spoke clearly when... I think Kelly's really is a centre half. He's an understudied centre half who's covered well at right back. It's more of a throwback to like when fullbacks didn't go forward, really, Martin Kelly. So I think fullback positions in terms of cover for Joel Ward / Kelly and Van Aanholt, we've got massive problems at the left back position. If Van Aanholt's gonna keep having recurring injuries, Riedeveld at covering there is poor. The young kid, Tyrese Mitchell, they've called up to squads recently. They haven't slung him on at all, so obviously haven't got enough faith in him. So I think particularly a left-back, cover at full-back positions. If they get players fit, they're okay at centre-half. You always feel with Palace, and I don't know if there's anything with... They're obviously going to be redoing the main stands soon. That financially, the money just never feels like it's there with Palace.
No.
It's one of the things we've got McTavish on Thursday's Clash of the Correspondents. One of the things I want to ask him again. I mentioned it to him in August. He was like, they're not going to spend the money. And it doesn't feel like they will here now. You'd say a forward, Jordan Ayew's done well this season. You know, move on Benteke's wages, get someone a bit younger in maybe. Connor Wickham's always picking up injuries. Don't see him spending the money unless they dip in for a young player from the Championship. Max Aarons has been linked quite a lot with Palace. I think it cost a lot. I can't see them going near that.
Everton? I don't see Everton making many moves, you know. I think the new manager's just come in.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the squad has enough depth that they'll get to the summer without any trouble. They're not getting relegated. They're actually playing okay. I think for the club and the way that they are, I think they will want to wait till the summer and put a plan in place, and then they'll spend in the summer. Now they've got a manager like Carlo Ancelotti. I reckon I can see Everton dropping 100 or 150 million in the summer. Farhad Moshiri's got enough money to do it, but I don't see them as...
There's rumours I'd heard today when we're recording on Friday as well about Usmanov getting involved, maybe, who's obviously been trying to buy Arsenal.
Yeah.
He's not short of a few quid either. So, no. I mean, future's always looked bright for Everton with new stadium, etc. It's just progressing. I think steady, slow for Everton. Like, don't aim for the stars straight away. Next year, make a real push for top six. This season is about solidifying, make sure they finish in the top half, getting a style and a system under Ancelotti. Against Everton, I wrote one word: spine. Yeah. Because I think in terms of quality, I think particularly central midfield. It's not helped, obviously, Andrew Gomez, long-term injury. Centre half, Holgate's doing a good job there at the moment. Do they want to improve on that? Michael Keane's had a bad season. Calvert-Lewin's established up front. But if they're going to go two up front regularly, unless they're going to move Richarlison inside, which if they play with wing-backs I can see, then Moise Keane needs further time for development. Cenk Tossen's not good enough. If the long-term plan is to play two up front, they will want another forward at some stage.
Leicester, you trust Leicester to always do well in the transfer market, but they've got good strength and depth at the moment. They've got a good young squad as well.
Will they buy correctly?
Yeah.
They buy correctly.
So I think it's obviously defensive cover at centre-back we spoke about on the main pod is the one where if they could pick up another young defender, centre-back, I think they probably would.
I think, cover at centre-back would be what I would have thought they'd... If I was looking to buy for them, that's what I'd be looking for in the short term. Possibly a wide player, but I think if that was to be the case, you'd probably be looking at moving on to Damari Gray or Harvey Barnes, who in flashes always look like they're capable of stepping up to be very good players, but have never really shown the consistency as yet.
No. Liverpool have obviously already done the deal.
Liverpool need loads of players, mate. Loads.
You know, they did the deal for Minamino. Is it Minamino? Am I saying it right?
I was checking. Currently, at time of recording, no price as yet.
But he, you know, you can tell a club is in a good state when they get their business done fast and early without any fuss. And that deal was done and dusted. Window's not even open yet. That's the sign of a club that is in a good place right now. They're not going to be splashing the cash really massively unless they need cover somewhere. But I don't think they do. I mean, you were mentioning Robertson cover potentially, but Milner just does such a good job there.
Well, it's something but it's not a long-term solution to be playing James Milner there. Plus, they've obviously been, Kate pulled out in the warm-up again the other night. Fabinho will obviously be back soon, is helpful. Chamberlain, poor fella's always in and out of injuries. So you don't really want to be in a position where you're having to sacrifice Milner out of that. I think they've managed that midfield position really well all season. It's the one area where quite subtly they've, dipped a Lallana in or dipped a Keita in. So, Milner at left back is not a long-term solution. At some point, they are going to have to go and buy a left back. The problem is, it's what I've spoken about so many times with like Kane at Spurs. It's all right saying, oh yeah, go and get a better backup striker than Llorente, but the backup striker knows he's going to be backup.
Yeah,
and it's the same at Liverpool. So I think you have to go and target like an under 21 player, but if you identify the right one, they're going to be happy enough to go and... It's like Adrian went there, right? To go and be back up to Alisson. He's not going to play, but what if Alisson gets injured and he gets a run in the team and he ends up saving a penalty in the Super Cup final? Liverpool do need to get a left back.
I agree.
In my opinion, no question about that. I think Minamino is a little bit of an unknown for us, really.
I think we'll have to wait and see.
I can't see him putting immediate pressure on like Mane or Salah. He played, when they last played in December, I was just checking, he played in the 10 position behind the front two. I guess it's more of in the immediate, it's more of like a competition for Shaqiri, extra number in there.
Yeah. Or Lallana or whatever,
Yeah, I don't see it immediately impacting on Mane or Salah.
No. Manchester City, obviously defensive cover. I mean, Otamendi, Laporte and Stones are exchanging injuries or like being out one at a time. Consistency. They really want Fernandinho back in midfield rather than being centre back, even though he's their best centre back.
I don't think Guardiola does.
It's
as mad as that is.
Yeah.
I mean, Fernandinho's such an underrated footballer in terms
he's
of holding midfielder.
He's 33 or 34 now, one or the other. He's old.
Well, there was an interview. Riyad Mahrez, on football teams' social media accounts, they do like these stupid games and stuff. I know Spurs do. City did one, and it was Mahrez and Mendy. They had to press a buzzer to guess the answer, and the question there was like, which Man City player is announcing that he's retiring? He's going to leave Man City at the end of the season. And Mahrez jumps in and speaks at 100 miles an hour and goes, David Silva, Fernandinho, and Mendy's like, oh. What have you said there, mate? And even the guy doing the question was like, yeah, David Silva. But there is reports since that Fernandinho will be offered a new contract and is open to signing another 1-year deal. I think if City don't buy a centre-half, then they'll spend the majority of the second half of the season playing Laporte and Fernandinho at centre-half. I think he's got no trust in Stones and Otamendi anymore. I wouldn't actually be surprised if John Stones moved on to a different club in the summer.
What about our friend Leroy Sané? Always rumours that he could be off to Bayern Munich. They're not going to want to buy him while he's injured, but he's a talent and a half, that guy.
If they know he won, it's obviously the country where he's from. I can see it happening. By now, you might get a discounted price as well, rather than he gets fit and starts tearing it up again. I do think City have missed him.
Yeah. On the other side of Manchester, Paul Pogba.
I don't know, mate.
Yeah, I think let's just move. Whatever happens with Paul Pogba, watch this space. Something will happen with Paul Pogba.
All the rumours were that Haaland, who's gone from Salzburg to Dortmund, was a done deal. He was going to United. There's plenty of YouTube videos, welcome to Old Trafford and all that. That ain't happened, does it?
No.
Do they need reinforcements in that forward area?
They need better quality.
Rashford, Martial, James, and the thing is, you don't want to stunt like Greenwood's development or anything, do you?
They need the replacement for Pogba, a box to box, someone that just controls the game and sets the tempo and spreads the play and just dominates midfield.
As much as Fred has improved in the last 6 weeks or so, like
he's not
him and Matic in centre midfield, he's not going to win that many games for them. I think fullback areas remain an issue. Dalot's not really had much for looking through injury this year. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka's sorted on the right hand side. Luke Shaw was awful at Arsenal. Awful.
If United stay as they are for the rest of the season in terms of form and league position, does Solskjaer last into next season? And the reason I ask is if they have that thought in their mind already, they won't give him money this window. They may as well get rid of him at the end of the season and get a new manager and give the new manager money, surely.
The rumour is that they are going to give him time and a shot. My personal opinion is that Man United are never going to be what they want to be while he's manager of the football club. The short-term ambitions, obviously, to get it back in the top four before you can start looking at City or Liverpool or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the quickest way they're going to do it is by developing these kids. But United do have the power to go and, as seen, go and buy a Paul Pogba. If United want Sancho,
they get him.
I think it's just imbalanced though. Like Rashford can play left, Martial can play left. I actually think Daniel James is better off the left than the right. Sanchez could come back. Alexis Sanchez. It's such an imbalance of squad Manchester United ended up with. It feels like it's not going anywhere fast. Don't really see them doing business in this window unless Pogba definitely left.
Newcastle, defensive cover mainly.
Bodies. That's the word that I wrote. Yeah. If they've got Almiron fit, for example, get St. Maximin back fit with Joe Linton, Carroll as an option off the bench, that's fine going forward for them. They have bodies in midfield with like Shelvey, Hayden, the Longstaffs. This Longstaff's one, the elder one that keeps getting mentioned with Manchester United. I think defensively I'd worry for them. If they have further injuries there, Shah got an injury against Leicester. I don't know how serious that is at the moment. Yeah, it's Newcastle though. But they did spend the money on Joe Linton and St. Maximin last summer.
Right so far. Let's see. Norwich, defence again. They're all right getting forward. They'll create chances and they got the talent there. But right in the heart of that defence.
Probably the one club who I'd look at the moment and go and make some short-term moves. Go and make, get someone in on a 6-month loan or an 18-month contract who's a bit more experienced. Like, Gary Cahill went to Palace, for example.
Yeah.
That's, go and get someone in who's got that experience. I think like
Winston Reid.
Ben Gibson at Burnley ain't played all season. He was, he was in and out of the England squad 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's got to be an improvement on what they've got, I would suspect. A holding midfield player as well, an extra one. And let the front four, who are interchangeable, go and do a bit of damage. I don't think they're dead yet, Norwich, in an odd way. I know we've written them off. But if they can sort it out defensively, with the likes of Buendia, Cantwell, Pookie up front,
they'll win a few.
They'll give themselves a shot.
Sheffield United?
I wrote down young cover.
Young cover. Covering for who?
So they went and bought Jack Rodwell. Well, obviously that team is so settled at the moment, other than obviously he rotates the forwards. I don't really know where you go this season to massively go and enhance on what they've done. I think it's more about, for Sheffield United, probably more about targeting, like say a Leicester have done or Spurs did 15 years ago, go and target the best talents in the Championship and look at integrating them towards the squad next season. They have the one thing with them, and what they've achieved so far this season is amazing. Is they have been lucky on the injury front, on the whole. Like, what position would they be in if Basham and O'Connell suddenly got injured, or Stevens and Baldock in the wing back positions? It would harm them badly. So I think getting young cover in would be a good idea.
Southampton Saints.
Well, they've sorted themselves out recently with the centre-back and central midfield partnership. Cedric's contract's runs out in the summer.
But he's old now.
Yeah, when Jan Valery...
Maybe they just let
Jan
him go.
Valery just regressed, I would say, from
what was a goal-scoring machine.
Was an FPL asset 10, 11 months ago.
Yeah, goal-scoring.
So I think a right-back, Ryan Bertrand's really improved recently. Yeah. I don't know if they need some further cover there at left-back, potentially. Danso played a few games early in the season, has hardly been seen since. A big man partner for Danny Ings, maybe.
Che Adam.
Well, they got Adams, Long, young boy Omafemi. None of them are ever going to score enough goals by the looks of it. But then the same's true of, like, you've got Redmond, Gineppo and Buffal in wide areas. I don't think you need more than that. So I think back up, central midfield and probably right back would be if they're making moves.
What's going on at Spurs?
We need a whole squad. That's what I wrote down. New squad. In seriousness, the priority.
Reece will come back soon.
Oh, please, Hugo. Hugo's one of those players who he's in our eyes he's got about another 20 million on his value through injury. Hopefully, Hugo will come back and be the keeper that he was. I know there's a lot of Spurs fans who question Hugo's ability. They won't question it when he's back in goal for Gazzaniga. I'm certain they'll be very, very thankful that he's back.
Look, Ben Davies may be back fit soon.
Left back is an overload. Danny Rose. It's a shame what's happened with Danny. Well, Danny Rose reckons he won't leave for 18 months.
Okay.
Until his contract expires. I think when he finds out shortly that he's fourth choice left back, he might want to reassess that if he wants to play any football in the next year or so. Because Davis and Vertonghen will be first choice in that position. He's obviously played Ryan Sessegnon there recently, who is the long term for that position. I don't think he's quite ready for it at the moment. Right back is more of a priority. I mentioned Max Aarons earlier with Palace. There seems to be interest there. I think it would be ridiculous for Norwich to sell now, but it might show where they're at as a football club if they think they're going down.
Cash
take
in.
The money. Yeah, possibly. I don't think that's right. I can see that being a target. I think energy-wise, he's probably got what Spurs are looking for in that position. Just doesn't feel like a Mourinho right back to me.
Yeah, maybe
personally. Midfield, we need about 6 new signings.
Cover for Kane always is a. We need
a footballer. What the club has to do, unless Ndombele is going to really get the chance to show what he can do, and that still means finding a better anchor midfield partner for him in my position. The club need to probably wait till the summer, unfortunately, and identify someone who can go and run the football match. And if that means, me personally, I don't know what Moussa Dembele's doing out in China. I'd get him back for 4 months. It'd be better than anything we've got on one leg. I'd look at Modric in the summer, and I'm, whether he'd want to come back and the wages and all that. I get it. I think Modric is a more realistic target for Tottenham than Bale.
Right.
People say, Ericsson, Bale swap. Yeah, Bale's on 600 grand a week. Stop. Forget about it.
Watford.
Alcantara, Bayern Munich. That's the sort of player I want Tottenham to target.
But this window might be a tough one, especially
to get a player of that quality.
Especially if the question marks are hanging over Mourinho's head so early. Watford. Now they're in a little bit of a revival. Whether or not they'll bring in a lot of names to disrupt the squad, I don't think so. But one of the things we spoke about pre-season was how they're aging already, and they do need to start thinking longer term in terms of planning, bring some youth through. So they do need to think about that potentially.
Well, we've got the impression that Kabasele and Cathcart are Pearson's favoured centre-half pairing. Craig Dawson played at right-back last week. Kabasele got sent off. I assume Dawson then goes and plays with Cathcart at centre-half against Bournemouth. Do they switch Femenia, who's been playing out of position at left-back, back to right-back? And then Messina or Hollybass doesn't seem to fancy either play at left-back. So I think you get the thread here. It's probably fullbacks for Watford. It's probably what they want to be looking at. Femenia and Yanmat, I would have said, are both okay at right back. So I suppose like a priority left back. To be honest, like Danny Rose would make sense as a short term solution for them.
West Ham.
You tell me. Backup goalkeeper. No.
Do you know what? The thing with the backup goalkeeper now, obviously David Martin had a little injury as well, and Roberto's clearly third choice now behind Martin. If we can't get the right backup goalkeeper, then I think David Martin will be fine until the end of the season. I'd rather we have David Martin as backup goalkeeper till the end of the season and get the right person in the summer than Randolph now or what have you. It's short-termism, really, in my opinion. We've got issues in the fullback positions. Ryan Fredericks' his first choice. Zabaleta's old now, so he might get you out of a hole for 20 minutes, but he's not. It's not progressive thinking. I don't know what's happening with the lad Ben Johnson, but hopefully he'll get a look in. Left back's more of a concern. Creswell was all right, but he hasn't got the pace. Masuaku's just nothing. He came on for the last 10 minutes. We were 4-0 up, right? He played...
Did you nearly blow it?
Everywhere except left back. It was so funny.
I think he come on left midfield, didn't he?
Yeah. Cressy did stay on the pitch, to be fair. He was just all over the place. I love it. But those two, we need fullbacks and we need cover for Haller because Ajeti's not the one, and Antonio is available, but fitness can be an issue. We need another striker.
Anyone leaving, do you think?
That's a good question.
I mean, that's the thing for Spurs. Spurs need to clear out the people like Wanyama, you think it's still there. Like
Chelsea will try and buy Declan Rice. I think that's one that's been talked about quite a lot.
What, for their second team or?
Nah, I think him and Mason Mount are like best mates, and
I
used to be on Chelsea.
I saw Declan Rice posting his picture the other day in his Chelsea shirt.
Those two
is he closet Chelsea?
His dad's a Chelsea fan.
Oh right, I see.
Yeah. So he went through.
So if Chelsea want it, he'll go.
I think if Chelsea pay the money, he'll go. I think
what's the money?
More likely. I have no idea, mate, to be honest. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, whatever it is. It's monopoly money these days.
Centre half for Chelsea.
Yeah.
It should be the priority, in my opinion.
Wolves?
Depth, I think. I know they're coached well and they very rarely change the team. But, signings like Neto, who looks a decent little player, as backup for like Jotas and Jimenez and stuff.
Yeah, he's one for the future, really. Yeah.
And I think they need more of that. You kind of covered left side with Vinagre for Johnny. Vinagre's still young, 19 or 20, I think. Doherty cover, because really don't want to be restricting Traore to right wing back if Doherty was to be out for a period again. And they have coped quite well with the absence of Willy Bolly. I noticed that disaster Vallejo's gone back to Madrid. What would happen if, let's say, Man United went, there's 60 million for Traore?
They'd take it.
Do you think?
I think so. I don't know what the financial situation is there, but 60 million is a lot. 60 million is a lot. 20, I think they could turn it down, 20 to 30, but north of 40, I think they'd take it.
He's still potential. How old is he? He's still young, mate.
I don't know, to be honest with you. But I think 60 is a lot of money. 60 million. It's what you paid for Ndombele.
Well, let's say he said to Wolves tomorrow, right, I want to go, and we're not. No one's suggesting that's the case, right? But what would it cost?
I love it. You're typing it in. Best thing to do here, James, is
okay.
Ask Google. How old?
He's 23.
How old is Adama Traore? 23 years old.
Well, ain't Google going to talk back to you?
Do you know any Villa fan? The volume off. Any Wolves fans will love the fact that the image is in a Villa shirt of Adama Traore. If you ask Google how old Adama Traore is, yeah, I think Wolves would be all right though. They always add a couple here, a couple there, every kind of window just to give themselves enough depth. The Europa League is a real possibility for them. So if they want to add that little bit of cover to try and give them the best chance of winning that, then they potentially could.
Go.
Oh, all 20 teams.
Nice.
And we did it in under 40 minutes.
Nearly forgot Villa, sorry.
I'm leaving that one firmly on you. Adam Hopcroft, 13. You can give James grief on that. Thank you for listening to the People's Poll. We'll be back at you tomorrow with Tot and Ham, the show where we talk about Tottenham and West Ham in a little more detail. Sky FF this week as well. We'll be discussing the change in the overhaul dates for Sky Fantasy Football. Clash of the Correspondents for you as well. Who do we have on that, James?
Big Tavis and 3-5 Who, Crystal Palace and Arsenal. And
then finally, the final plan on Friday before we go into game week 22. Thank you for tuning in. Ciao for now.
Cue music, man child.
Messi, ancora Messi, Fantasy Football Show.